I know it ain't Jesus. And last I did check in the Buddhist faith, Buddha didn't sacrifice himself and he didn't die for anybody. My Jesus, my Savior died for me. So anyway, not getting into that part.
But before you go to the next topic,
those are the opinions of Vincent Dunstan, not Malcolm Davis.
That's not an opinion. That's a fact. Jesus died for us. I know for a fact that Buddha did not die. I'm just saying. I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying he didn't, according to the faith.
Yeah, well, that's one thing that I don't want to do. I don't want to down anybody.
No, not
those are the opinions of Vincent Dunstan, not Malcolm Davis. Because again, I don't know enough about their religion to say anything about their religion.
But the crazy thing was the other day I came across a video where the guy was interviewing a lady, and I guess she's like not saying she's a guru on like relationships, but I guess that's like pretty much her profession. She like kind of is like a counselor, but writes books or whatnot. But anyway, she asked a group of like men and a group of women, hey, if you had 80%, like the 80-20 rule, she basically said, so if you had, if you could choose between having the 80 rule, or 80 or 20, what would you go after? I think she said 55% of men that she interviewed and asked that question to, they said they would go after the 80. The crazy thing is when she asked women, she was saying 44% women said they'll go after the 20% of a dude or whatnot. So I just thought that was kind of crazy or whatever. But she was basically talking about, how she thinks some of the women that she interviewed, they will probably be lonely because, some of the things that they were wanting is unrealistic for a man or whatever. And they want to, I think for one example, she was saying that one lady wanted to be the head of the household and kind of be the man of the relationship or whatnot, but then have the man help out with what he needs to do, give her money and stuff like that. And I just, when I was listening to him, I'm like, all that's going to do is just cause confusion or whatnot and strife, and everybody's going to be angry with each other, and that's not going to last. Right, exactly.
So as we push forward, we're talking about some of those realistic versus those versus the unrealistic qualities that you do look for when choosing a woman or wife. Let's just say you found the one for you, and let's just say this: the one for you looks different to every guy, because the right woman for Malcolm is not necessarily the right woman for, because we're all different, and when we get to know ourselves, we get to know those things that complement us. Right. But talk on some of those benefits of when you get the right woman for you.
So I think the benefit of finding the right woman for you is you will you will succeed at a higher rate because the right woman for you will push you to do great things all the time, and they will always have your best interests at heart. Right. They're not gonna try to hit you up for $200,000 in child support and divorce you after signing a big contract. They're gonna figure out that $200,000 a month into $400,000 a month. And that's what the right person would do. So the wrong person will figure out how to spend $10,000, but the right one will figure out how to invest the $10,000 that you just made. The right woman, when you buy groceries, she'll make you a meal. The wrong woman won't ever cook you a meal. And I think that's a lot of times we choose the wrong one. And I ain't gonna say no names, but I know somebody going through some stuff right now for choosing the wrong one, and it's gonna cost them quite a bit. But the right woman that would definitely help you grow, and the right woman would definitely help you succeed in life, because she's there as your companion, as Jesus sent the woman here to be your companion.
Your best interest at heart, and by you having the right woman, both of y'all will definitely mature and go in the right direction and continue to move forward, not only financially but emotionally and spiritually as well. But for having the wrong woman, I mean, that can be can definitely tear you up, tear you down and whatnot, and bring a whole world of hurt. I mean, so yeah.
Especially like when I think about like what the right woman for me looks like, and then if I'm able to find that, I know some of the benefits of that will be, first of all, it'll be peace of mind, because it's not somebody I'm going, she won't feel like an adversary. She'll be intelligent. We can talk with one another. Another one of those benefits, even besides peace, is that, I'll have somebody that will push me. And I think one of you guys said that too. And not only that, someone who, another one of those benefits for choosing the right woman is she'll see things in you and she won't scold you for it. Mm-hmm. She's not going to accept things either. She'll call you out when, she sees some things that, you could be doing better. And, she'll push you to be better. And like Malcolm said, instead of trying to use you and tear you down, she'll look at the things going on with you and herself, and she'll figure out how to build upon those, So I know that's definitely one of the benefits that the right woman for me will come with. We'll be able to build together versus, feeling like somebody's just tearing me down all the time,
right?
Or using me or, anything like that. Because that can definitely happen. And like you guys said, we've seen that so many times before with the wrong woman. Another benefit, of choosing the right woman is longevity. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, that should be one of those, the longevity, especially when the two of you in that symbiotic relationship, y'all mesh well. Mm-hmm. Y'all actually accept each other for who you are and not trying to fundamentally change them and mold them. Because like I tell people all the time, like, men are not clay. Yeah. You don't need to form us in your image. You should accept that man as he is. And hopefully you chose the right man and she chose and you chose the right woman. And if you do that and not going into it trying to change somebody fundamentally, y'all actually have a bright future ahead of y'all, because now you got all the silliness out the way. You ain't trying to change them. You ain't trying to do all these frivolous things. Now y'all can actually grow. Mm-hmm. On the flip side, we all know that we don't always, especially as men, we, like Malcolm said before, we are not the smartest characters all the time in a storybook. So, what would be the completely wrong woman for you?
The wrong woman to make you hurt in so many ways, emotionally, physically, and financially, especially if they take you through more than what you can handle at the time. The wrong woman is a woman that's not supportive of your goals or Absolutely. Even of you, and those are the wrong women. We already done put it out there, Brittany Reynolds.
Wrong woman for everybody.
Yeah, but she is constantly somebody else is gonna date Brittany Reynolds,
even because she look good.
Just because she look good and got a nice body on her.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have good things in her mind for guys. P.J. Washington found that out pretty quickly. She divorced him right after they had the baby.
Right.
And now he's on the hook for child support, whatever amount that is.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not $200,000 a month.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, he got stuck with that. But we all choose the wrong woman a lot of times. A lot of times we have to go through these things in order to figure out what the good women are.
Right.
A bad woman can set your life back a long time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think that's what we're trying to get at.
Yeah, Clay, what's the completely wrong woman for you look like?
That would be someone who is disloyal, someone who is selfish.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, when you choose to be in a relationship, you're going to get some benefits, but that's not what you should be seeking. Benefits to yourself. You should be seeking, like, what can you render to them? What benefits can you bring? So.
Yeah, the wrong woman, I would definitely agree. Like, someone that is dishonest, that's tearing you down as a black man, and if you're married, I mean, like how it is, you're supposed to be the man in the household. If she treats you like you're not that, someone that's like constantly, just talking bad about you, and especially in front of your kids or just anybody in general, someone that doesn't have your back 100%. So I mean, like Malcolm was saying, I mean, it would definitely set you back. So I mean, you think you took 2 steps forward, but having that bad woman or bad lady or whatever will make you take 5 steps backwards or whatnot. So definitely choose wisely. So,
it's like if you were the king of a kingdom and you chose the wrong queen, she could bring the whole kingdom to ruin.
Exactly.
She being disloyal, like messing with other dudes from other kingdom. They know how you move. They know the inner workings of how your kingdom operates. They can bring your whole kingdom down.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, now I know. I mean, all of those that y'all said, as far as like what the wrong woman looks like, I agree. All of those. Another thing is somebody who is just like needlessly combative. Like I said, I don't need an agreeable woman. Like I love a woman with, you know, a strong woman with her own opinion, her own thoughts, you know, and her own ideas. And I'm only saying this because I've dated somebody like this before, and this is how I knew she was not the right woman for me. If I looked up at the sky and I said the sky was blue, she said, no, it's white. And it was like everything that I said, she had to have a difference of opinion of it. And, you know, like I said, I love a woman with her own opinion, but I'm like, I don't need combative. Right. That's the last thing a man wants when he come home after he's been fighting with the world all day. I don't want to come home and fight. I don't want to have to come home and battle you over every little thing, you know. If I say, well, this is this, she just has to say it's the opposite. I don't need that. You know, and I think we can all agree here, you know, definitely one of the wrong types of women, and I see it a lot with maybe some of this generation today, and it might not even be a generational thing. It might just be today's thing. A lot of these women nowadays, to me, in my opinion, are a little bit bitter. Like they wake up angry, they walk around angry, and everything is I ain't this and I ain't that. And I'm just like, why are you so angry, babe? Like you woke up angry, you go to bed angry. Everything is about what you're not gonna do, what you're not gonna deal with, and everybody's so anti-relationship. And I said, this is the most anti-relationship but wannabe polygamous culture I've seen. I was like, y'all can't figure it out, you know. So that, you know, to me, that's just some of the things that the wrong one will bring my way. And of course, like I said, dishonest. Oh, that's another one. Dishonest pisses me off. And excuse me for saying it that way, but dishonesty of all things pisses me off. I don't care what the truth is, just tell me. You know, we can work at it after that. The truth hurts, man. Yeah, truth hurts, but I rather the truth hurt than to be feeling good about a lie. You know what I'm saying? Don't feed.
It makes it worse when you prolong it. Like you lied about something, then you find out later. That just makes it even worse. Just like,
and it pisses somebody like me off because y'all know I'm blunt. Like I'm straight to the point. It's not that I don't care. I don't care enough about anybody's feelings to lie to them. I'm gonna tell you the truth, and I would prefer somebody reciprocate that with me. Just tell me the truth. If I walk in here and say, hey, how I look in this, and you like, you look fat as hell, say that. You know, I would rather you say that than be like, oh no, you look good, and then I walk out the door like a clown. You know, and I'm just using that as a funny example, but like, just be honest. You know, be honest with me. I applaud honesty. I admire it. You know, and whatever the case is, you know, if you say, hey, I dented your car, I won't be mad, but at least you told me you dented the car, whatever. Yeah. We'll get it fixed, you know? So,
that's when you mentioned about the woman being angry all the time made me think about, what's her name? Was it K. Michelle, whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how she was talking about, like, she was on the interview all bitter, talking about she hate men and it's all men's faults and whatnot.
And it's just one of those, it's like, why are you mad, though? Right. You chose every man. Don't say, you know, I hate men. Say, I hate the men I choose. Right. Oh, I hate my decision process.
She didn't say she hated men. She just saying all men are bad. All men are inherently bad.
Yeah, but that needs to be flipped back around. Like, no, that means your decision making is bad because you chose them at the end of the day.
Right.
And you know one thing that like I know the answer to that we used to always question back in the day when we were younger. Like, what's man, that? Like when we see like a pretty chick and a dude cheating, like, man, how he cheat on that? Like, we understand it now. Like, just because she pretty don't mean she got other good qualities.
No, that might be the only quality that she has. Yeah. Like that girl, what's her name? Brittany Renner. Yeah, like, I mean, she fine. That's it. Mm-hmm. But that's it.
Well, she was just out there to get what she was getting.
Oh, yeah. And she got it too, you know. So
he probably didn't have a chance to cheat on her. He probably, I don't know, but.
Let me ask you this, fellas. Go ahead, Malcolm.
No, go ahead.
Let me ask y'all this. You know, of course, you know, when you're choosing the right woman for you, you know, in Clay and I's case, you know, we're still looking for what these two fellas have. You know, they found their right woman, and you know,
they found their right man.
What? He's talking about his wife.
I was about to say, no, we didn't.
Okay. Malcolm always be saying stuff that don't really be explained. Like the day you were talking about that coat.
Yeah, they found their good man.
Look, I thought you were talking about their wives. Look, I thought he was talking about us. I was like, no, we didn't. No, we never gonna find out. I don't know. Well, I can't speak for Clay, but
I ain't looking for that.
But anyway, when choosing the right woman for you, or when you two chose the woman that you deemed was the right one for you, did the people around you have affect that decision in any type of way, and if so, how?
I don't think so. I chose my wife because I like my wife, but I'm pretty sure everybody do like my wife. Actually, I think my parents like Bree more than they like me.
It happens like that sometimes.
So Bree always get the nice things for Christmas, and I get some socks or something like that.
Sock drawers and a tie.
Yeah, and some drawers, but they give Bree all the nice stuff. But no, I think you have to make the decision for yourself. Now, it's cool if your friends and your family member likes her as much as you, but at the end of the day, the only person that's going to be in a relationship with her is you.
Absolutely,
so
brother.
You got to be happy with
Preach,
your
brother.
decision,
Right.
and hopefully everybody else would fall in line. But
If not,
you can't worry about nobody else's happiness. You have to worry about your own happiness first. And when you choose a mate, she has to be the right person for you, and she
Absolutely.
has to make you happy, no matter what. So if they don't like them, fuck them.
Pretty much.
y'all heard the man.
And keep on moving.
Go ahead, Clay.
What's what? You said Malcolm and Mazio.
Huh?
You said Malcolm and
This
Mazio.
ain't a dare question. Okay, to you. Okay, so now hold on, Mazio. So, so you and I, we're still out here seeking what they've already sought and found. So, but in this process that we're going through now, looking, does family members or those around you, even your friends, do we or them have an effect on what you deem as the right woman for you?
I think maybe they have an effect indirectly, because I think oftentimes we don't notice like the reason why we choose things as we get older. I think like what you were around, you grew up. And I think that's oftentimes why like sometimes us as men and women choose the wrong person, because some people will get so used to dysfunction and they continue to choose dysfunction.
Yeah.
So I think they could affect you indirectly on a smaller scale, but I think ultimately at the end of the day, when you're an adult, you make your choices. So I don't think they affect us as much. I mean, personally, I don't think my family or friends or anything affect who I choose. I think sometimes if I choose a person and I don't know, I'm just being stupid or something.
Yeah.
Of course, y'all are gonna probably say something like, "Yo, man, it's probably not somebody you should be with." But at the end of the day, you still gonna make your choice.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, I chose my wife because I love her. And I mean, we've been together for 10 years now, whatnot. But,
I've been together longer than 10.
well, yeah,
Right,
I'm
right.
sorry.
And she watching live.
So we've been married for 10 years and been together for about 18. So,
Okay,
yeah.
clear
I mean,
We don't want it to come to an end tonight.
Yeah.
Clear that up, boy.
But,
You
no,
going
but,
home tonight?
huh? But yeah, but no, I mean, I made sure that it's. I also want. I mean, even though I chose her, and I know that at the end of the day, it's just me and her. I wanted to make sure that my family was cool with her as well. Which I mean, when when my family met her, I mean, they loved her. I mean, off the bat or whatever. And then also I remember when I had I guess my grandparents' 50th anniversary or whatever. No, it's 45th anniversary, and she got up on the mic and said, I'm gonna be a boon, and like everybody was going crazy, whatever. So I mean, she, I wouldn't have made sure that she was gonna be there for me for day one, and I mean, there's been situations that I was at my lowest of lows and she was there, so I mean,
Right.
I knew that she's a ride or die chick, so. I'm not gonna say die, but yeah, she was a ride, she was a fighter, and she was gonna be with me through the thick and thin. So I was like, yeah, that's the person I need in my life or whatever. So yeah.
So I'll say this. This is a two-part for me. So do the people around me, family, friends, whatever, affect what I deem as the right woman? They used to, and I know my dad is watching right now. They used to, and no disrespect to my dad or my parents or family, or not even y'all. I used to allow what other people thought was the right woman for me, or I would always consider, like, when I would bring a woman home, don't get me wrong, I brought plenty of the wrong ones home, and my parents and my family saw right through that or whatever, they saw that. But a lot of times I would or not choose a woman simply because I was like, I don't know if they gonna think this the right one for me. So even before I even gave it a real chance, I had already decided in my mind, and I probably self-sabotaged things because I'm like, they don't think that's the right one for me, or they're not going to. So then I got past that phase, and then I got a little bit older, not much, but then I got a little bit older. And then when I did bring a girl to meet my family, and they would say, my dad would say, like, I don't think that's the right one for you. Now, without even giving it a chance to explore that for myself to see that, it's already been put into my mind, she's not the right one. So now at this point, every little thing she does annoys me.
Right.
Every little thing she does is wrong. And don't get me wrong, I get it. Your parents and your family, your friends, they have your best interests at heart and they're looking out for you. But I think sometimes, even if you do feel that way, sometimes we need to refrain from telling people that, unless we just being flat out. So like if we would have Brittany Renner, like, okay, tell me that. You know what I'm saying?
But our parents ain't always right.
No, and that's true. And that is,
and
and that's what I was getting to. You know, a lot of times refrain from telling your family member that, or your child that about the person that they're dating, because allow them to see it first. Don't plant the bug in their head first, because what you saw in that one meeting or two might have just been a off day or a bad day, or maybe it was just something that was misconstrued or whatever. And now you really just let go of the right person now, because your family said it was wrong.
Yeah.
You know,
sometimes it be right though. Like,
I know sometimes it's right, but the thing is, you need to know that it's right, or you need to know that it's wrong.
But sometimes they wrong too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You remember that video we saw?
Yeah.
This dude. He met some girl like writing her letters while she was in prison or something, and like when she got out, like when she was in prison, he spent what, like $30,000 or something while she was in prison. I don't know how you spend some $30,000 on somebody who can't go nowhere, but but he like, and when she got out, he met up with her. He was like spending all this money on it. She was just like, trying to take him for his money or whatever. And his mom was telling him like why are you doing this? This girl was in prison and she just trying to use you for your money, but like he was just too dumb to see it. And this is like his second time doing that. He already had the same experience with another chick that was in jail.
And the funny thing is, his friends were telling him he was stupid for that too, but he wasn't listening to that.
I mean, so like I said, there are times where we do need to step in, help our friends out, help our sister, our brother, whatever. You're like, especially like now, I say it's okay to step in after it's been going on for a good long time. Like, all right, like, look, what are you doing? But when you first meet them, if you think they're the wrong one, don't say nothing. Keep it to yourself. Let them explore this. Because like I said, you might have it wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But he didn't listen anyway, so it didn't
matter. So now given that, if your family was the one choosing the right woman for you, what type of woman would your family choose for you if it was their choice, Malcolm?
I think they would have chose Bree just like I chose Bree. Like I would tell y'all, they like her a little bit more than they like me anyway.
Right.
They tell her more things than they tell me. So I mean, I guess I'm the in-law and
in your own family.
But I think they would have chose somebody like Bree, somebody that's kind, somebody that's smart, and somebody that's willing to help me no matter what. So I do think that they would have chose Bree for me.
Absolutely. What about you, Clay?
I think they probably would have chose like a geek girl to like comic books and like stuff that I like. Probably somebody nice, somebody that's chill. They're probably a homebody or something like that.
So at first, on my mom's side, they didn't really care for.
Put it out there.
Yeah, they didn't really care for Marissa like that because I'm the baby of the family. Oh, and she wanted the best for me. But I mean, at the end of the day, like everybody, loves Marissa. Even on my dad's side. I mean, when they first met, they were crazy about it. From the jump. But dang, I forgot the question because I was going to.
Yeah, I know you up here defending.
Man.
But no, I said so. It's not necessarily about your wife. It's about what type of woman would your family have chosen if they were the one choosing her for you.
I think now, well, even back then, I think they would have definitely chose her because I mean, just her morals and what she's about. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's a Christian woman, loving and kind. I mean, that's what.
Let me ask you this: when you said that y'all went through like some issues initially because you're the youngest, and they were like it was some strife there. If they had some strife with her, who would they rather you have been with? Nobody.
A big booty girl.
African girl.
I think maybe
Maybe
there
a
probably
little
could've
bit
been-
more, maybe a little bit more culture.
Maybe so.
Technically, we all African.
Yeah,
Yeah.
technically, but maybe somebody a little bit more culture.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I get
Somebody that spoke the language.
Yeah, and I get that. Sometimes that is a big deal. That is a big thing.
Sometimes,
It could be a race thing. It could be a culture thing. And stuff like that.
Yeah. My wife said Liberian, so I
Yeah.
guess I said yeah.
I know for me, and man, let me tell you, I ain't gonna speak on years ago. I know now because the fact that I'm still seeking, like I said, what you guys have, my own. My grandmother tells me all the time, if I let her choose, first of all, I had to check her one time. We were in Walmart. And my granny tried to hook me up with something. I was like, I'm 30 some years old. I was like, I don't need to be hooked up, but
You might need some help.
look, apparently granny thought so. So at the time, I think she was 80 at the time. So, my 80-year-old grandmother was like, hey, I want to introduce you to this girl. And I was like, okay, just out of respect, let's see what you got or whatever. I walk over there and I go to meet this girl or whatever. First of all, this girl is closer to my child's age than she is mine. Mind you, I'm 33 at the time. And when I knew this girl was young. I was like,
R. Kelly.
I pulled my granny to the side. I said, let me holler at you for a second. She go, what? What happened? I said, that girl is every bit of maybe 20 years old. I was like, you do know I'm over 30, right? She goes, oh, well, you need a young, cute girl. I was like, I said, cute, yes. Fresh out of high school? No.
She was 20.
And at the time, my child was 15. I'm good. Anyway, but no, if my family, like especially now, and my family knows, I'm a minister, I'm about my word. I love God, and I'm a man after God's own heart, and I'm not. That's not to say that I do everything right, but I'm a man after God's own heart, which means sometimes I get it right, sometimes I don't. I'm human, but I'm working on doing more right than wrong. Anyway, my grandmother, she was like, well, you need to find you a woman that's as strong as you in the ministry and this and that. And I was like, I don't mind. I love I want and desire a Christian woman, a strong Christian woman, and someone who is serious about their faith. But if it was up to my grandmother and some of my family members, they would have me with the overly churchy girl. And nothing irritates me more than the overly churchy. I know you laughing over there, but y'all heard me say it before. Nothing irritates me more than the overly churchy one. When I say overly churchy, I mean like the Bible thumper. If I can't text you good morning without you saying hallelujah, thank you, Jesus, I'm good this morning, how are you? I don't need that. I love a woman that gives God his praise, but to me, that is not authentic. That's just, look, I don't need you to throw a Bible verse out there every single time we speak, or the holier than thou. That's what I probably should have said. The holier than thou, the ones that act like they've been Christian since the day they were born. I don't need that type of woman in my life, because I need someone in my life who understands that this walk is a journey, which means it still contains obstacles. It has levels to this. Sometimes there are setbacks on this walk, not the one that is, she already got her seat in heaven. She's so sure about that, because she's just perfect. I don't need that in my life, you know? So that's why I don't let my family choose for me either. And, and then they always say, well, you need to be with a woman that don't have kids. Okay. I get that one,
right.
So whatever. But this is why we don't let our families choose our mates. We don't do arranged marriages over here. Anyway, let's move on. Soulmates. We talked about soulmates before, man. So, talk about choosing the right woman. Soulmates. Do y'all think soulmates exist?
I think soulmates exist, man. I think it's gonna be somebody that's gonna touch your soul like no other will ever do. Now, that doesn't mean that you'll end up with your soulmate.
So that was going to be question 2. So finish that. So
Right.
Does soulmates exist? And is your soulmate necessarily the right woman for you?
It depends on when you meet your soulmate. Sometimes you might meet your soulmate early in life that you don't know. But I do think you can fall in love again, even if it's not with your soulmate.
Right.
So I do believe that it's possible that you can have one soulmate, but it might also be possible to have more than one soulmate. And I truly believe that. I think your first soulmate is preparing you for your final soulmate
Right.
if there's two soulmates out there. So I do believe you can fall in love more than one time, and but I do think everybody is gonna run across somebody that's gonna touch their soul like somebody else hasn't done before.
Right.
And sometimes you end up with that person, and sometimes you don't.
Right.
It sounds like a candy bar commercial.
Sometimes you feel like that.
Sometimes you don't.
I always feel like the nuts.
Moving on.
Hey,
Clay.
why I say that, man? I
Go
should've
ahead.
known
Go ahead.
better.
Go ahead, Clay. You open that door.
Dang.
Now you close it.
That's one thing that I kind of went back and forth on. Like, do soulmates exist? Because I always ask the question. I'm like, I mean, if soulmates exist, can you have more than one? Because it makes it hard to believe sometimes, just because I don't know, it's not gonna be someone for everyone. People always say, oh, well, there's always someone out there for everyone. I don't know if that's really true, because some people can't even function on the daily. Some people can't speak. Some people have like conditions and stuff where someone has to look out after them each day, and they're never gonna meet the love of their life. So I think it's sometimes we get too wrapped up in the fairy tales and stuff like that. I think you can find someone that you truly love if you're looking for it and if you want it. If there's a soulmate for everyone out there, that's still a little bit hard for me to believe. But I mean, I want to believe in that, but I think realistically, everyone's not going to find someone. And I think in part, we often don't prepare ourselves to receive someone who can like really love us and you can love them. Because we can say we want all these things and then we don't prepare ourselves to make room for that person. So I think we can oftentimes hinder ourselves from finding a soulmate if they do truly exist.
So you do believe in love?
Yeah, absolutely. But just like far as like it's a soulmate for every person, I don't believe that.
So you just don't believe it's one person for every person,
right?
But you do believe in love.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
For me, yeah, I do believe in soulmates. Thank God I met mine. Love you, baby.
Yeah, you better make up for what you said.
Right.
But no, yeah, I definitely feel like there's soulmates do exist or whatever. And I guess for me, I mean, I prayed for a woman that I wanted to God. I mean, I wanted God to, help me find that right woman that fits me or that connects with me or whatnot. And vice versa, whatever. And thank God, he brought her in my path or whatnot, or he brought us to each other, whatever. And I do feel like there's everyone in this world does have a soulmate. For those that are searching for it, those that are trying to search and find someone to get married or whatnot, I do feel like that right one is out there for you. And sometimes they might not be, come right there when you want it, like in a day or a week or a month or whatever, but yeah, eventually you will come across that person, and yeah, you have the choice and the decision to go with that, and sometimes you might like miss out on it. And I do feel like there's more than one soulmate out there. When I say that, I mean if you meet a female or whatnot, and like at the time like you're not all together, or you're not where God wants you to be or whatever, and you miss out on that, I mean, I feel like he will definitely bring someone else along your path that fits, that I guess it become equally yoked with you or whatnot. So that's how I honestly feel. I mean, yeah, we do have the decision to choose who we want to be with, but I do feel like there's a soulmate out here for those that are searching for that each person has somebody that is for them. So
Okay. Do soulmates exist? I believe so. I believe that there is. I am one of those people who believe that there is someone literally for everyone. I don't care even if you have a disability or, as long as there's some way that you can function in this world, I believe that there's even somebody for you if you're searching.
Right.
I do believe that. Second part of that question, is your soulmate necessarily the right woman for you? I don't think so. I think sometimes, like Malcolm said, the way he said it was perfect. Sometimes you meet somebody that touches your soul in a way like no one else has. And things like that are exciting, they feel good, but that don't necessarily mean that person is supposed to be there with you for the long haul. Sometimes we do meet people who are intriguing and things like that. And they're not bad people. Everything about them is, there's good things about them. They make us laugh. They talk with us. We feel good when we're around them, and, and we do things together. But does that necessarily mean that all the things you want for the rest of your life, do they line up with those? And I think sometimes a soulmate doesn't, I think sometimes people confuse soulmate with life mate. And I think those are two different things. I think your life mate is the one you want to spend the rest of your life with, of course, like your wife, things like that. Soulmate is somebody who touches you, like as Malcolm said. So are they necessary? Sometimes they can be. Sometimes that person that touched you in that in that very intriguing way, sometimes that's exactly what you were looking for to start with and what you're going to end up with, for the rest of your life. And then, like I said, and then there are times where that person was literally just a seasonal mate. They came in, they touched your soul, everything was good with them. You just weren't a match. Maybe there was something fundamentally about the two of you that was unequally yoked.
So can I ask
Sure,
all,
go ahead.
y'all this question? So, I mean, for me, I do believe that, there's soulmates for each and everybody or whatnot. Or Malcolm, you believe that, well, that you found your soulmate. I know I found mine or whatnot. Do y'all feel that some people use that word in the wrong ways? Like they find somebody and they say, oh, that's my soulmate, but really they're not. Because I feel like, if you're gonna say that person your soulmate, y'all gonna be together for the rest of your life. That's why I look at it as
here's my thing with the soulmate. What if your soulmate was lived in Asia and you never met your soulmate? If this is like, how many people on the planet?
Was it like
Millions.
almost 7 billion almost now?
So if God put all these people on the planet and He made one person for you, how do you know your soulmate is going to be in your area?
Right, and that's the thing too. Like you ask, can we get that wrong? Absolutely, we're human, and there's tons of room for error when you're human. So could, people love the wrong people all the time.
Right.
So if you love the wrong person, you can absolutely incorrectly identify who is your soulmate.
So that's why I believe in you can have more than one great
Absolutely.
love. Yep.
And-
you can
and-
have one great.
So-
you can have more than one great love.
Let me answer your
That's why I
question
believe in
real
that.
quick. So, I believe that number one, there are some people who get it right on what a soulmate is. Now, of course, that definition is different for everybody because there's no one set hard definition to what a soulmate is. If that's the case, we would already know who that person is, or we would know who to go look for.
Right.
But I do think that, to answer your question, that there are people who do use it wrong, because come on now, every single person you come across can't be your soulmate. And we see that all the time. People say that on Facebook, oh, I'm with my soulmate. I'm like, yeah, but you just said that 6 months ago when you was with the last person, you know? And then right before that, you was with another soulmate, you know? So I'm always careful not to use like hard terms like that. Like I don't care how long I'm in a relationship with a woman and how well it's going. She does not get the term "that's my wife" until she is that. I don't do that. You'll never hear me say, "Oh, that's wifey." No, she's not wifey until she's wifey. Mm-hmm. She's my girl. She's my girlfriend or whatever. If we decide to put labels and things like that on it. And I have never in my life said that that's my soulmate, except for once, because I do believe that I have came across my soulmate once and we were together. And as one of you said, that sometimes we do meet those people sometimes in our lives, but at the wrong time. Mm-hmm. Well, I ain't gonna say the wrong time. I think it was the right time, but while that person was, I deemed as my soulmate because the way she touched my life, we weren't meant to be together forever. That's why I said I do believe that sometimes your soulmate is not necessarily the person you're going to be with. Right. But yeah, absolutely, I think people use it wrong a lot of times, and then I think some people just use it loosely. Now, those are the people to ignore. They just, everybody's they boo, everybody's they bae, everybody's they cousin, everybody is they kid's godparent, those type of people who just, there's no weight carried behind the terms. They just use them very loosely. But
and that's why I always say, how like people say that, God brought this person in my life and stuff like that. And then you end up like breaking up and that person like treated you terrible. That's why I always say that, like, I think relationship wise is more a personal choice than something that God chose for you. because oftentimes I think they can get people like angry at God over your own personal choice of a person that you chose, because we know oftentimes people choose people that like they knew they had these bad qualities and red flags ahead of time, but they still pushed forward and they still said, oh well, this is my soulmate, this is the person that God put in my life, and then it ends badly. And it's not necessarily God's fault because you chose that person. That's why, like, that's one thing that I've been back and forth with a couple people on is.
And then they be questioning God, why you send this person? In my
so
life,
with
God?
that, and I know that came up in our conference call the other night, and we kind of went a little back and forwards on that. So the question that comes up with that is do you necessarily believe that your soulmate or the person you're supposed to be with was, is predestined for you? And I think most of us have said we don't believe that. I know me personally, I don't believe that the woman that I'm going to be with was predestined for me. Right. I do think that I have the choice. And like you said, sometimes we get it right, sometimes we get it wrong. And that's not to say, Jehovah God is all knowing and he knows everything. And I do believe that God knows who we are going to end up with, but he allows us the journey. See, God already knows the journey. He's already seen the end of the journey. Right. We have not. So we still get to walk the journey, and we also have free will. Now, that's not to say that God doesn't interfere. And well, I don't want to say interfere, but he doesn't. Well, yeah. Well, he doesn't intervene in things like that.
If you seek him, he will.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But I don't think that he necessarily said, here's the journey. She's at the end of it. You just need to get there. I don't believe that. I just because he's all knowing doesn't mean he predestined somebody for us. So I personally don't believe that. I believe he allows us the right to choose. Because let's just say if God did predestine this woman over here, he predestined Halle Berry for me, which it wouldn't be bad if he did. But anyway, but let's just say if he predestined Halle Berry for me, right? And I go out here and I go through this girl, I go through that girl, this girl, that girl. Who's to say that after I go through all these things that I'm going to end up with that woman? I might choose all the wrong paths and never get there or whatever. So like I said, I believe it's a choice. And then that way, does God step in and he nurtures good relationships and things like that? Absolutely. I believe he does. Marriages, I believe God has his hand all in it, especially if you invite him into your marriage or whatever. That's why a marriage is not a two-way street. It's a triangle. It's you, her, and it's God. Right. You know what I'm saying?
And we know triangle offense win championships.
And that's why.
But here's what I think. I think God put us on the planet and he gives us a God to live by.
Absolutely.
And he allows us to make our own decisions. So I don't think anything is predetermined of your life.
And I mean, and I agree with y'all. I mean, yeah, you have the right to choose who you want to be with. I totally 100% wholeheartedly agree with that. But I also believe that if you're praying to God for something, like you say, hey, Lord, I'm asking you to help me get a job or something like that or whatever. I mean, you pray upon it and you believe in it, it's going to happen. And of course you have to, have action behind that. You have to do your part as well. So, and I feel the same way about finding a wife. You ask God like, hey, Lord, if you can help me find, let me, help me work on me, but also bring a woman in my path that is for me. And you constantly believe in that and you work on yourself and work with him and trust in him, he's going to bring that person in front of you. That's why I was saying, I feel like, God does bring people in your path if you're asking for it.
So when it was interesting that you just said that. So and I agree with most of that you just said, because I do believe that if you're praying for something, God, I don't believe that because we're praying for a relationship or something like that he's going to say, okay, bam, I'm going to put her right there for you. I believe that when we pray and say, hey God, I'm praying for the right woman and a good woman in my life, a good Christian woman, this, that, and the third, whatever, I believe that instead of him bringing her to us, he helps change us so that we can get to her or whatever. You're making the prayer. God's going to work on you. He doesn't have to touch her.
And that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, he does. I believe that God doesn't touch her and say, hey, come on over here for him. No, you're making the prayer and soliciting God's power. He's going to step in and he's going to mold you and take you to her. Maybe not necessarily. Now, I do believe that God takes me to her versus the other way around. He's molding me, changing me so that I am ready for that when I come across that. Number one, he didn't predestine her, but he'll help me to recognize her the same way the two of you recognized your wives. You know what I'm saying? Because you prayed and you asked God to nurture that situation, you know, my choosing process, the right woman and somebody that is going to be there for me. So God didn't work on her. He worked on you, and you recognized the blessing when it was there. So that, you know, and that's where I believe God steps in. It's not necessarily to predetermine, you know, who I was going to be with, but he made me ready so that when, you know, when I did come across, or whether I came across her in the streets, online, or wherever, I would recognize it. So like I said, I agree with you on that aspect.
Well, that's why I say you should pray about, you know, on yourself, and not pray for another mate or anything. Pray that you can accept all the gifts that
to
he's
recognize, absolutely,
to recognize and pray that you work on yourself and not pray. Stop praying. Stop asking God for men and women. Start asking God to work on yourself.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
That's the only issue that I had with that. Like, I get what you're saying. Like, you're praying for a woman like this, but that goes back to like what I told you. Like my pastor was saying, he had this whole long list of what he wanted in a woman, and the thing, we're human, so the things that we often think we want at a certain period in our lives are not always the best things for us. So if I'm praying for the things that aren't gonna be best for me in the long run, why would God give me the things that I'm praying for that aren't even good for me? So I think that's the only issue with what you would say. Okay, you're praying for this, you're praying for that.
And that's not to say that you won't get them sometimes, because God will give it to you to show you that's what you don't need.
Right.
You know?
So you got this laundry list of things that you want in a woman that you're praying for, and it's not even the right things that are going to help you going forward.
And I agree with what you're saying, and it's like, and let me like clarify that when I'm saying like praying up for a woman, I'm not saying like, you know, or, you know, Lord, make sure she's a 8 or a 9 or something like that. I mean, like, you know,
but some of us do.
Yeah,
that.
and that's true. And there's the right way to go about it and the wrong way to go about it. And I feel like that's the wrong way. You know, you're worrying about the appearance of things. Like, she's spiritual and I guess emotional as well. Like, I feel like if you're gonna pray to God about it, say like, Lord, you know how I am. I mean, work with me, work in me, so I could be a better person, and also allow her to be a good fit for me, and vice versa. And so I should have said that, like, make sure that your prayer is you're praying the right way, instead of it just being about, you know,
the other person.
Just the other person. So,
and you know that's, and I'm not gonna lie to you, like, you know, as we get ready to wrap up, that's definitely one of the things, and I don't mind being vulnerable right now, like, because I'm a single man, you know, and I am at that stage in my life where I am, if God says that I'm ready, then I'm ready, or whatever. So, and I have learned this, you know, that stop asking God to send you the perfect woman and this, that, and there. And this is true, I asked God to, like that Tamala Man song, change me, oh God, you know, make me more like you, so that when that woman does come into my life, I am able to, you know, I'm able to keep her, and I'm able to be the husband she deserves. Not so much worried about her being the wife I deserve, because if God molds me to be the man that I need to be, I will recognize the right woman when she comes along. You know, because when you know yourself and you got those things in you, like you brothers did, you're not going to allow the wrong woman in your life, because you know who you are and you know what you need. You're not going to put a ring on somebody's finger when they're the complete opposite of what you needed. So that's what I pray for. I pray that God, you know, changes me, you know, changes my heart, changes my mindset, my thinking, and my ways of doing things, so that when, you know, the time comes, I will recognize, you know, the right woman for me, and I won't mess it up, hopefully, you know. So versus, you know, bring her to me, no, bring me to her.
Because think about, like, when we were like younger, like in our 20s, and the things that we thought were important in a woman, and the things that we went after when we were seeking a woman. Think about, like, we don't, those things aren't even important to us now, and like especially like once you get in a long-term relationship with a woman, you see things that, okay, this, I actually need this every day, or, you know, these things don't even matter to me anymore. The way you grow and the way that you process things, and the things that you learn about yourself that you actually need to be successful and, you know, be sane every day, changes as we age and as we grow, as we mature. So that's why I say, like, we can't get stuck on this list of things that we're praying for,
Right.
because they might not even be beneficial at the end of the day, or might not even be important to you in a year, 5 years.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Absolutely. Yeah. So as we close out, we're going to close out on a different note tonight. But I do want to just say, we appreciate everybody who tuned in with us live tonight. And I hope that what was said tonight, was, informative to you, especially to the fellas. Like, if you're looking for if you're looking for a woman, man, look, don't ask God to bring her to you. Ask him to make you ready for her.
Right.
But as we close out tonight, look, we got 2 married brothers in here. They got it right. They found the right Mrs. Boone and the right Mrs. Davis. So who better else to close out and to educate us unmarried brothers and us unattached brothers on how to choose wisely. Malcolm, start us off, bro.
So the first thing I would tell you have to believe in love, because if you don't believe in love, then it's pointless to try to find a woman.
Right.
So you have to believe in love, and you have to be prepared to receive love back, because a lot of times we're not prepared to receive love. And what I mean is that we have to get rid of all the hurt that we had before.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be ready to receive love.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been part of preparing yourself. And I think if you're ready to receive love, then you'll know exactly what you need out of your mate, and you'll know when she's there.
Right.
It'll be written all over, so you'll know when she's the one. But you have to be prepared for love, and I think if you do that, you'll be in a good place.
My brother Malcolm Davis said it correct. But no, he's right. Because if you go into a relationship with a wall or your heart, having a barrier around it, for me, I would definitely add on to what he's saying. Make sure that you both put each other. Make sure you find someone that has your best interests at heart. The same thing, but it goes both ways or whatnot. Because if you find that, then everything else will fall in place or whatever. And another thing I would say is, I've seen a lot of people nowadays, and we've heard people on social media go into the marriage undefeated. Well, no, not undefeated, but defeated already, because they're already saying, okay, well, you know what, I'm gonna get a prenup or what? No, and some things that's smart. Yeah. Hold on. But no, hear me out. But it's females out here that's already saying, like, I'm gonna when I get married, I'm gonna make sure that I'm already ready, like getting myself prepared
for the end.
And
right.
Instead of it about thinking about it, saying like I'm gonna think about the end, I need to think about forever. So don't have your mind on the wrong things or whatever, because if you're gonna have a defeated attitude, it's not gonna work. So I definitely say both people, man and woman, go into it open-minded, and have each other's best interests at heart, love each other 100%, and just be honest with one another. The rest will follow.
That's what's up, man. Look, I take any advice I can get in this journey. Because you gentlemen have done it, so who better else to, get advice from? So it's been another episode of the After 29 podcast, man. Until next time, peace.
Peace.